Konnichiwa minasan. Hello friends, how are you? I am Sujay welcoming you to my YouTube channel Saral Japani, and today is the 33rd lesson of this series, Japanese food and cuisine. Every country has its unique food habit and cuisine. However, the cuisine of certain countries are more popular than the others. India, China, Italy, Mexico, and Japan are some of the countries whose food is accepted worldwide and highly popular globally. So friends, in today's lesson, we shall look at some of the most common Japanese food, starting from the basic food ingredients, and we shall learn the Japanese words for each of those. So let's begin. Food and cuisine of Japan. Food. The word for food in Japanese is tabemono. Tabemono means food. So if we divide this word into two parts, tabe means to eat or to live on, for example, even on salary, and mono means thing. Thus, tabe mono means things to eat, which means the food items. And the verb for to eat is also taberu. So the verbs and tenses that we will be doing in a later chapter. So for the time being, we keep it aside. So for the time being, just we have to remember that tabe mono means food. So what are the different food items? We begin with rice, which is uncooked, because this is the very basic ingredient of food of those countries which are rice based. So rice is called kome in Japanese, and this is the kanji. As you can see, this is the kanji of a tree, and these two parts, this indicates the rice, the grains. So kome means uncooked rice in Japanese. And the cooked rice is called either meshi or gohan. Gohan is more common word than meshi. Rice is the staple food of Japan and is part of most of the meals. So the base of most of the meals is rice. And that's why gohan and meshi are sometimes used to refer to the complete meal rather than just cooked rice. Wheat is another major ingredient of food. In Japanese, wheat is known as mugi. Mugi is wheat in Japanese. And what we get from wheat, we get bread, which is called pan. In our katakana lesson, we studied about this word pan, which comes from the French word. That's why the word in Japanese is written in katakana. Pan means bread. Milk is called gyunyu in Japanese, gyunyu, and the English word milk is also adopted in Japanese and it's called mirku, mirku, and that's why written in katakana. Gyunyu in Japanese and miruku is also in Japanese, but it's a foreign imported from the English word milk. Butter is again the English word adopted, which is pronounced as bata. Bata is butter. The generic word for meat in Japanese is niku. Niku means meat and it can be any meat. So more specifically, if we look into the different kinds of meat, chicken is called tori niku. Tori niku is chicken and sometimes it is also called just tori. Niku is not added because it's chicken meat is tori niku and simply chicken we can call it tori. Tori niku. Similarly, pork is called butaniku and beef is called gyoniku. And similar to tori, pork is also called simply buta and beef is simply called gyu. And this is the reason like gyu is cow, so that's why the milk is called gyunyu. Fish is called sakana. This you already know by this time because we have used this word, we have studied this word in our vocabulary earlier. Fish, sakana. Shrimp, ebi. This also we have studied earlier. Crab kani. This also appeared in our vocabulary lessons in the first playlist of this series. Crab kani. So fish, shrimp, and crab, these form the three major ingredients in most of the Japanese items, and these are highly popular and highly consumed items in Japan. Then we have eggs, tamago. Tamago means eggs. Tofu. And tofu is in Japanese, it is pronounced as tofu. Tofu. It's kind of cottage cheese made of soya milk. Tofu. And these days, this is becoming very, very popular with the vegan people who do not consume the animal milk. Seaweed is another very important and popular food ingredient of Japanese cuisine, which is called nori in Japanese. And this is very, very specific to Japan. So this symbolizes Japanese food. We can say like that. Seaweed or nori is a typical Japanese food item. So we shall see how nori will be used in other uh, recipes. So the three basic ingredients, sugar is sato, salt is shia, and soya sauce is called shoyu. Shoyu is soya sauce. Now we move on to the cooked products. Sticky rice cakes. This is a very, very common and base of most of several Japanese dishes, which is called mochi. Sticky rice cakes, mochi. Curry rice. So you can see this is written in katakana since both the words curry and rice are English words. But the surprising thing is that it's the national dish of Japan. Yeah. Sushi or ramen are not the national dishes of Japan, but the curry rice is the national dish. And it's not the Indian curry that we usually refer to when we call curry. It is more like a stew made with meat and different vegetables in a thick gravy like curry sauce and paired with rice, as you can see in the picture. This is curry rice and it is pronounced as kare rice in Japanese. Kare rice. Sushi, the most important and symbolic food item of Japan, and Japan is known by this food item, sushi. So there are different kinds of sushis. The most important are these four ones that you can see in this slide. First one is the maki sushi, which are essentially rolls with rice filling and wrapped in seaweed. The outer layer will be the seaweed layer. Then the middle layer will be the rice layer, and inside the rice layer, the central layer will be of different ingredients like fish, meat, or vegetables. The second type of sushi is sashimi. Sashimi is nothing but a cut of fish or shellfish with nothing else. It's just the and uh, marinated raw fish, which is edible, and there is nothing else on that. That is neither seaweed nor rice. It's just the fish, sashimi. The third type of popular sushi is nigiri. Nigiri is a cut of fish or shellfish, just like sashimi, but it is put over a mold of rice. And the fourth kind of sushi is uramaki. Uramaki is rice on the outside, seaweed wrap on the inside, holding the fillings together. So in the innermost layer, we have the fillings of vegetables and non-veg materials. In the middle layer, we have the seaweed, and the outer layer is rice and sesame seeds. So this is just the reverse of the maki sushi. So although there are several other sushi types as well, and There are many new developments in sushi cuisine, but talking about the traditional ones, these four are the most important and the most ancient forms. From sushi, we now move on to ramen. This is yet another important dish of Japan. Ramen noodles or ramen noodle soup. Ramen is the Japanese noodle. The noodles are topped with different ingredients like slices of meat, nori, that is seaweed that we just saw, a soft boiled egg, onions, and various vegetables, as you can see in the photo. Ramen. The second type of noodle is soba. Soba noodles or soba. The main difference between soba and ramen is their flavor. Soba noodles are typically made with buckwheat flour, while ramen noodles are made up of traditional wheat flour. So the constituent flour is different in ramen and soba, and because of that, the taste is different. There is a third type of noodle in Japan which is called udon. Udon noodle. While udon and ramen are made with the same type of flour, ramen is cut into a much thinner and smaller noodle, while udon is thick and chewy. So this is now the shape and size of the noodle that differentiates udon from ramen. So ramen, soba, and udon, these are the three important types of noodles in Japan. Moving on, the next dish is okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki is the Japanese pizza. That is, it's a grilled dish. It's a pancake mixed with whatever ingredients you would enjoy. Popular toppings are generally seafood, meat, vegetables, especially cabbage, scallions, that is green onions, and cheese. These ingredients are mixed into the batter and fried up or grilled, and it gives a pizza type of taste and appearance because of the cheese. Okonomiyaki. Donburi. Donburi means bowl, and the dish consists of a bowl of rice topped with several food items like vegetables, fish, seafood, and meat with or without a broth. Next is Shabu Shabu. Shabu Shabu is made by cooking each ingredient one by one at the table. So it means in the restaurant, if you order Shabu Shabu, they will give you the cooking uh, setup, and you have to fry the things one by one and prepare the dish. So starting with the meat that has been dipped in ponzu sauce and dashi, dashi means broth, and then adding vegetables and tofu or cabbage in the last. So step by step, all the vegetables need to be fried, and it gives you the dish called shabu shabu. It's basically the way in which these are cooked one after the other. Next is natto. Natto means soya beans, the Japanese style of eating soya beans. Now, this dish is not liked by many. The reason being, these soya beans are fermented, giving them a very strong smell and sticky and stingy, slimy texture, which many people don't like it. Nevertheless, it is popular among many people. So, natto is something that half of the people like and half of the people don't. Tamagoyaki. Tamagoyaki is nothing but the Japanese omelette. Tamagoyaki is a rolled egg omelette made with dashi. Dashi is the broth, shoyu. Shoyu is the soya sauce, sugar, and sometimes nori, that is the seaweed. So all these ingredients go into this omelette made up of egg, and this is the Japanese omelette essentially. Tempura. Tempura is again a very traditional and symbolic dish of Japan, where vegetables and shrimps are fried, and the batter used for frying is made up of flour, and eggs may be optionally used in the batter. Tempura. Tempura. Yakitori. Yakitori is nothing but grilled chicken skewers that come in a variety of delicious seasonings and flavors. Yakitori. So we had studied this word in our hiragana vocabulary, yakitori. So friends, these were the some of the very common Japanese food items, although there are hundreds of other dishes which you can explore on the internet, or if there is a Japanese restaurant at your place, or if you are in Japan, you can try them out. We just touched upon some of the common and popular dishes that most of the foreigners enjoy in Japan. They try it, and even outside Japan, in the Japanese restaurants, these dishes are tried out by most of the people. So those dishes were included in this chapter since this is a beginner's course. And in the coming lessons, maybe we shall be discussing some more items as part of the Japanese conversations that we will be doing. So that's all for today's lesson, friends. We shall be back with yet another lesson soon. Till then, goodbye. Thank you all. Mata imasho.